If I had to rename that song, I'd call it Louis Road, because it's right up your street.
That was right. That rocked. That was my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've no idea who it is, but I liked it.
You must have a guess. Go on, have a guess. Who do you think it is?
White Stripes?
No.
Are they a trio?
No.
I feel like they've only got drums and I see.
They're a duo.
Duo. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not together anymore.
Oh, why did they break up? Weren't they husband and wife or something? Oh, I bet they. That's apparently why you should never sleep with your co-worker, because then then it's awkward, isn't it? And then
apparently,
if you break up, then the team has to break up.
Apparently, they split up because I think Jack thought that Meg wasn't taking it that seriously. She was just having a laugh, and he wanted to be a bit more serious about the music. That's what I read. He was getting really excited about a track, and she was just, yeah.
Well, that is bands are always breaking up, aren't they?
Yes, they have to at some point, don't they?
No, well, some go on forever, don't they?
No, no bands go on forever, Louis.
Well, I mean, eventually when everyone dies, but I mean, Queen's still going, aren't they? And one of them did die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to be brutal, but the money can be very good in these bands, can't it?
Well, they end up becoming tribute bands to themselves. Skunk from Skunk and Nancy was saying that.
Yeah, they can do, can't they? The whole ABBA reunion thing, which is not actually ABBA.
Well, that's bullshit, because they're not even performing. That's just some what is it? Some digital hologram of them, and that is just some sort of cash in, isn't it?
Well, I'd say.
I suppose they don't care. They're probably sat.
They don't give a
sauna
shit, do they?
Sweden going, more money for me.
Exactly. Is that your
money?
Yeah. Is that your Swedish accent?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to say, my headphones out for that.
Go on, who's that band then?
Don't know, but I liked them.
That was The Police.
What?
Yeah, it was the first track off their debut album, which the debut album was Atlantis d'Amour from 1978. The track was called Next to You. You might have guessed that. Maybe you wouldn't, but yeah.
The lyrics weren't that clear, actually.
It's a kind of punk love song.
It's kind of punky, yeah.
Punk love song. It's kind of like not as political as some of his other tracks. Some great slide guitar there by Andy Summers. Stuart Copeland on drums. What a great band.
Sting on vocals.
Sting on vocals and bass.
Sting, because I was trying to work it out as I was listening. The three people, so Sting on vocals and bass. Oh, yeah, that's an unusual combo.
Well,
and then drums and
Paul
then
McCartney and Karen.
Okay, so it's quite good. It's not uncommon.
Paul McCartney. It does say,
Paul McCartney played bass.
Bass guitar, yeah.
I always assumed he was the rhythm guitarist.
No, that was John. That's John Lennon.
Because they get the easy job, don't they? The bass guitarists.
Well, no, not written. Easy job. Dum dum dum.
Yeah, that's pretty compared to.
Well, you can make it as easy or as hard as you want, can't you?
Can you?
Yeah, you can do an interesting. you can choose to an interesting bass line, a challenging and interesting bass line.
Okay.
I mean, listen to some of Flea's work on Red Hot Chili Peppers, for example. No, okay. That's some really interesting stuff, isn't it? Or some of the bass on Come Together, the Beatles, or Michelle.
Oh yeah, that was McCartney then. That
was Paul McCartney.
Come together. Oh right, yeah. No, that is a good bass line. I'll give you that.
You don't need to don't give me that. I mean, it's very kind of you. Give it to Paul.
Well done, Paul.
I can't take all credit for that. So yeah, The Police.
Sting and The Police. Well, I liked it. No, there was one thing though. At some points, it sounds to me like there was more than three people singing. There's like a.
Well, I mean, overdubs.
Right, so you're allowed to do that, are you?
You're allowed, yeah. Even trios are allowed to overdub in the studio. Okay, yeah, right. That is allowed.
But what happens when you play live? You're not going to be able to create that effect, are you? You have to get the audience to join in.
Oh God, I can't remember if Andy did backing vocals. I'll have to look that up. Okay. Does Andy Summers do backing vocals? We'll find out.
Stay tuned, kids.
Find out in the next episode
for that amazing factoid.
We'll let you
know. I thought they were American. I thought the singer sounded American, and the whole vibes. I'd say that surprises me.
Well, they thought that. They've often thought about bands, so they sound American, but are actually.
Instead, it was an Englishman in New York.
Yeah, nice reference. Oh, it's a beautiful reference there. You're trying to show off.
I know a little bit about Sting.
You'll have people writing in going, "Oh, Louis, love that little reference."
Exactly.
So interesting fact: they recorded that debut album on a budget of £1,500 borrowed from their manager. Intermittently over 6 months, and it was basically they were hanging around a studio, and whenever another band's sessions were cancelled or there was a bit of time, they nipped in and recorded songs.
Good on them. That's the way to do it.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
Hustling.
Yeah.
And that was probably still quite a lot of money, like $1.5 back in those days.
Yeah.
Back in 78.
Yeah, back in 78, yeah, it'd have been a chunk of change.
But also, I mean, like, today you don't really need money. Well, you tell me, but like, you could just record in your garage now, can't you, with modern technology?
You could do. I mean, you need an outlay for the equipment initially, and even if it's just a decent laptop and software, and a good mic is always good. Yeah. And if you want to add instruments, that's more cash. Paying for musicians to come and do it. Then there's the mixing. Then there's the mastering, and then
didn't he record his first album in his bedroom?
Yeah, I think he did, didn't he?
Like, just did everything. So
yeah,
it's possible, to be a...
Yeah, but then to get it heard, you need a lot of money to get, the PR, radio plugging.
How did the Streets manage it?
Well, he got signed to a label, didn't he?
Did he? But how do you get signed to a label?
Getting lucky, people hearing tracks, having good songs.
Oh, it's a bit of chicken and egg, isn't it? So to get heard, you need a label, and for the label, but in order to get signed, a label needs to hear you.
Yeah. So there's a lot of luck, a bit of talent.
Well, Sting got lucky and had talent. So and the Police.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there to say about that?
Apparently they split up because they just started hating each other. Like the song. Have you heard the song "Don't Stand So Close to Me"?
Oh yeah.
That was. I mean, it's about a sort of teacher-pupil kind of dalliance, but apparently, actual fact, he was writing about the other members of the band because they had such tension in the studio and on stage.
Oh, burn!
That they just like really kind of. And there's a really awkward footage of them playing I think it was at Sting's wedding, where they decided to come up and have a jam, and it was just really awkward because they were fine off stage as just as sort of friends and past band members, but as soon as the band element came in, like all the tensions kind of came in, and it's just yeah.
I feel like that's how the Music Natters podcast will end. Seething tension between me and you.
Yeah. Well, it's only going to increase, isn't it? It's not going to improve from here, is it?
It's downhill from it. It started bad, it'll get worse.
Yeah, you'll start resenting my talent.
Relenting, was that? Relenting?
You'll and eventually you'll relent. Yeah. So you enjoyed that?
To your talent. So I really enjoyed that. I would put that on.
I would recommend the whole album, the whole first album. I mean, all the albums are good, but especially, I'd say the first two would be Louis Road.
Louis did right.
Yeah.
I'll put that on my on a playlist, and I'll listen to that.
Yep. Nice.
Thumbs up.
Time for another trio. Going back a little bit further now, with this classic track. Enjoy.